Hello, and welcome to the NFPA LiNK YouTube channel. This page is dedicated to answering key questions you have related to electrical and life safety. With easy-to-use digital access to NFPA codes and standards, NFPA LiNK is your window to productivity. Today we've been asked to address the general requirements in Article 300 using the 2023 NEC. So from the dashboard and LiNK, I'm going to navigate to the 2023 NEC and open Article 300. Now, Article 300 can really be thought about, a good term is probably a catch-all section. So there's a lot of requirements within Article 300 that are, say, daily requirements on the job, things that you would use commonly, but something that you might look around the rest of the NEC and say, you know, I really can't find that specific thing. Where is this at? So this is always a good article to reference for those common installation requirements when you're having trouble finding it in other areas of the NEC, because a lot of them live right within this document. So I'm going to scroll through this a little bit and cover some of the key areas. First, 300.4 goes into protection against physical damage. So when we think about residential installations where we're boring holes in studs and framing members and needing to keep that 1 1/4 inch distance from the edge of the face, this is an article where it contains that. So it goes into that, talks about the depth we need to maintain. If we can't maintain that depth, using the 1/16 of an inch thick steel plate or bushing in order to protect that cable is in here. Underground installations are a big one. Those are in here. Table 300.5a gives you those depths. So if we expand that table out, depending on what we're doing, so there's the first row is all locations not specified. Then we go into trenches that have 2 inches of concrete or more cover, under buildings and so forth, and then moving across through the columns if we're using direct aerial cables, if we're using rigid metal or intermediate metal conduits, EMT, non-metallic raceways, things of that nature. So this is that area, so it doesn't matter whether we're putting in a lamp post in a residential home where we're running a piece of UF cable out there, or if we're going to be in a commercial application doing underground parking lot lighting and need to know the depth for that. That is in here as well in section 300.5 within that table. Raceways exposed to different temperatures. So if we talk about raceways that go from outside to inside, maybe it's a service conduit where there's an LV that turns inside the house or the building. In that application, we, of course, in the wintertime in a lot of areas, we could have cold weather outside, nice warm weather inside, and with that being the case, we have the buildup of condensation potential. So this covers that specific topic and tells how it needs to be sealed and whatnot. Securing and supporting. This covers where securing and supporting is required for suspended acoustical type ceilings, fire rated assemblies, things of that nature that we need to take care of. Free conductors. So when we talk about the distance or the length of conductor that we need to leave in a box, we don't want those to be too short. Of course, if they're longer than they really need to be, they may take up more box fill than they need to. So 300.14 talks about 6 inches of free conductor being in the box. The opening and outlet junction box has 8 inches or more in any dimension. So if we start thinking about fiber type boxes in residential applications, we're probably getting into a 3-gang box there where we're going to get that 8-inch dimension. So now we need to have those wires at least 3 inches beyond the outside of the opening. So this goes into detail there. Of course, this also covers more commercial industrial applications if we look at boxes in those scenarios as well. Raceway installations. So this is where it just goes into we need to complete a complete run of the raceway before we start pulling in any cables or anything of that nature, wiring. Spread of fire or product combustion. So when we start looking at making sure we have the proper caulking and things of that nature put in. Of course, there's building codes that would apply here as well, but this is where the NEC touches on that and gets into fire-resistant rated walls and floors and things of that nature and what needs to be maintained. A new section in here, it was in the 2020 cycle it was new, so it's not new in the 2023 here that we're looking at, but exit enclosures or stair towers. So when we start talking about those, we need to have the wiring methods within those need to be just for those specific stair towers. So this is something that prior to 2020 we didn't see in the NEC, but it's in here now. So again, kind of a generic or general requirement type of thing that there's really not another spot for it to live in the NEC, so it's here in the general requirements. So we hope that provided some insight into the general requirements in Article 300. For more info about how NFPA LiNK gives you the knowledge you need to get the job done right, please visit www.nfpa.org/link.